Hey everybody, and welcome to Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to work on some Premna. The tree that we see right here is one that I've already worked on before. It's very angular, incredibly angular. And I wired the top to actually accentuate the angularity. So with trees like this, as they get thicker and thicker and thicker, the angularity will actually soften. It's kind of like, remember when you were a kid and you wrote your name and then you did a border around your name, and the first border had all the little nooks and the crannies where the A, like my name's Alan, so between the A and the L, and then the L came down. But after about 4 or 5 borders like that, it got more and more and more oval. And so that's the same kind of concept with angular trees like this, is as they thicken, the angularity will soften. So the wire, I think, has done its job, so I am going to take it off, and I save all my wire, or at least most of what I can. And Premna holds its shape pretty quickly. And of course, I never try to leave the wire on too long to get wire scars. And there's a hint of one right there, but not too bad. And I'm also perfectly okay with putting wire back on if it hasn't held. Then the rest of all this thing really needs is some trimming. So on our first main branch, we have a piece right here that's going against the grain, and I always remove that stuff. I want all my foliage to come out this way. Second main branch has really filled out nicely, and it probably needs to be reduced more, because even though this part here is thicker than here, it doesn't look like that because of the way it comes up. So I'm going to try to keep this second main branch from getting out of proportions. Our back branch is pretty puny. In fact, I think the original back branch died, which is right there. Yeah, but it did sprout, so we still have a back branch. Then we have a little bit more in here. And then with the apex, just trim it up like that. I think I'll leave this really weak back branch to elongate and let it get thicker. And that's about it for this one. There's possibility that this guy could come down. Look at that. When I do that, instead of the branch coming down, it pulls the whole tree over, which of course might not be bad. And you don't want stuff shooting down, but I want this branch to get thicker, so I'm going to leave some of this. So that was a pretty simple one right there. Clean up some of the crud. Then we have this guy here, which I think we're going to need to move back a little bit. And this guy is a classic example of parallel branches, which are these two right here, this one and this one, coming out of the same place on the trunk, directly above or below. And that just makes the eyeball just hesitate. You can't follow the tree. And this tree has some unfortunate problems, like the apex, which had a lot of really cool movement. Can you even see the apex? For some reason, this is another one that's leaning way too far forward. But the apex here has basically died completely. So I'm going to take my concave cutters and get rid of it. We've got some dead here. And I'm going to shorten everything up. And then I have to decide, where do I want which one of these branches do I want to keep. So we're coming here, then we're coming here, then we have a little baby branch that can come out of this. This can be the new apex. So I think that this is the branch I'm going to keep. So I'm going to take this one off and then just shorten that to like right there. And this guy unfortunately also has some dead. And it's got some funky growth, like this one is going against the grain, but I want this branch to become more vigorous, so I think I'll leave that for now. Take off more of the dead, because dead doesn't do much for a tree unless you want to turn it into gin. And I'm holding the thing way up like this. If we go like that, then I'm speechless. Okay, let's do that and just barely touch that guy. So when this guy gets repotted, he probably needs to be angled a little bit different, more like that instead of too far forward. And I think this could be a very nice tree. It'll have feminine characteristics. Won't be a massive thick trunk. But I think it can be a nice tree. So that's number 2. Number 3 is another very feminine tree. And it has some damage right here. And I'm not sure why. That could have actually been hail from April 28th, 2023. And this guy has a very nice sweep. It's got branching right where you want it on the outside of the curves. This guy here could probably be a sacrifice branch, although you notice it's right at the point where the scar is. And when that scar heals, it'll make a bulge, and then the sacrifice branch could actually make it bulge even more. But for now, I'm going to keep it. This branch here is, once again, way too heavy. This is really now, as far as the tree is concerned, if we go like this is the apex. In fact, it's even flowering. And Premna's flower here, and there is actually a little bug that comes to feed off, I guess, the nectar, but I have never seen a Premna produce seed, at least not where I live here. But that's going to be moot because I'm cutting that whole baby off. And we've got little tiny bits of growth right here, and right now it's kind of shooting up like this, but we can coax it to be the second main branch. And the first main branch has another piece that appears to be dead. Yep, and all right there, that's all dead. That was easy to get rid of. Very carefully chop that knob off. And then, of course, with proportionality, we want, come up here, and then probably about right there. Normally, wherever you chop, the new growth is going to come pretty much right at the end of the branch. So we want this long, and then a little shorter, and then a little shorter. And then if we make more of an apex, it'll be shorter and shorter still. I'm going to leave this guy on for now. I think I may just tip off the new growth. So that didn't take long on that one either. Clean up some of the cuttings. This guy here is another one that's in need of some care. Some certain amount of dead. This is all dead right here. And this guy right here. And then what's the front of this? Is this the front? Or is this the front? Or do we go somewhere else? I think this makes a good front. It's a funky tree, there's no doubt about that. It's got this crazy back growth, so if we take that back growth away, and even that is part of the back growth. So we ain't got much left. So I think what I'm going to do is just shorten all the stuff growing in the back. Oh, there's some more dead. Take that off completely. And then I'd really love to have something coming out here, but all the growth is shooting up. So let's take it to there. And then somewhere to right about there. And then with any luck we'll get some growth in here to create a little bit more balance. And this would be, it's probably, now we can bring it a little closer too, since there's nothing left. This would probably have some Bunjin style, especially with this kind of funkiness, way it goes straight. Sometimes that weird funkiness can actually create a pretty interesting tree. So there's number 4. And then here is number 5, which once again has nice movement, nice branching. The apex here has died again. And we have a very low branch here, which is probably a sacrifice branch. So that branch will be gone completely. But for now, I'm just going to shorten some of it. And we have some growth going against the grain on our first main branch, which is a very nice balancing branch to the rest of the tree. And then probably just need to snip the apex. And you notice I snipped it to there, because as it's coming here and coming here, then it's moving forward. The apex is moving forward. So if I snip it to there, the new growth is going to shoot this way, more to the back. So it will have movement this way, and it will also have movement this way. And this is another one that could probably be coaxed into behaving a little better with a little bit of wire. Let's take that off too. This is also going to be another very feminine tree, or already is. So I just wanted to show you one more thing, and I should have done that before I chopped everything away. But the difference with fertilization, and that one poor guy cut too much off, but you see how nice and green this one is? And this one too is very nice and green. But then we got this guy. See how yellow it is comparatively? That is just a simple lack of fertilization. And even the first one, very nice, verdant green. And this one is not, I don't want to say it's unhealthy, but it certainly could use some fertilizer, so that you can really see the difference between the sort of chlorotic nature. Let's just do a leaf like this, and then a leaf like that. So, you know, you can really see the difference. Needs fertilizer, adequate fertilizer. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and you can watch all these guys regardless of how much fertilizer they've got. And these are all pretty much the same as the ports that I did yesterday. They all need a repotting and a root pruning. Yeah, root bound? You think it's a little bit root bound? You see there's like this hole there? That's the mesh. So the roots have actually pushed the tree right up out of the pot. And, you know, I'm sure if I did that with any of the rest of them, they would basically have the same thing. So in the spring, root prune, repot, do some wiring on some of the ones that need the apex to be a little straighter. And there you go. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you'd like. And that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.